One of my guilty YouTube pleasures is watching the beard channels and their styling guides and their styling advices. So today, I took some time to go inside of the bathroom and then turn my untamed, unkept, out of control beard into a nice, tapered, executive styled beard. Let me show you what I did. Step one is to simply just wash your beard. In this example, I'm going to use something that's a product that my wife kind of gave for me to use, which is Neutrogena Rain Bath, which is kind of like an all-around bath and shower gel type thing. But the reason I'm doing this is I don't like to use a lot of alcohols or anything like that on my face. While those are great for like cleaning, for like things underneath your skin and trying to get your skin cleaned up, especially if it's oily. It's not great if you already have dry skin, and when you're dealing with the beard, I'm a little careful of using alcohol-based things. So the first thing I like to do is I like to look at the back of these labels and understand what the heck it is that I'm putting on my face. And I like to separate things into categories, like what is the foaming agents and detergents they use, what is the emulsifiers they use, and what do they use to preserve it, right? So for me, foaming agents are the sodium lauryl ether sulfate, SLES, and the coca midopropyl betaine. I don't know if I'm saying that right, guys. CAPB. Emulsifiers, how they mix and spread things, right? Polysorbate 20, sodium hydroxide, PEG 80, sorbitan laurate, and the preservation stuff they use is citric acid, DMDM, hydantoin, I don't know how to say that, guys, and then tetrasodium EDTA. The EDTA might be a little controversial because that is something that uses a chemical thing that releases formaldehyde to basically like sterilize, keep things, microorganisms from becoming a problem for shelf storage, guys, shelf stability, if you will. All right, past that, we get into really what would be step two of the process, which is, what do you do after you wash your face, and like how do you get yourself dry, which is kind of important. You don't want to rub really hard against your hairs. You just kind of want to pat your face a little bit to get yourself kind of dried off and to be ready for the next process of getting yourself ready to be shaved. All right, at this point, you need basically what's called a beard brush. And normally what you're going to see here are boar, bristled brushes. Guys, I have a cheap, like, Conair kind of brush that I doubt it's actually, like, boar hair brush material, if I'm being honest, but it does the job. You just want to make sure it feels good against your skin. I will say that I am looking to upgrade this and to get a better quality brush in the future because, simply put, you want something that feels really good against your skin, or else it's going to cause a lot of irritation, and that's not fun to groom yourself and to keep your hair and your beard in line if you're causing irritation to your skin. This is something that it's not that expensive to upgrade to much better quality. I mean, $20, you'd be amazed what you get for $20 inside of this particular field, this particular area of the field, if you will, in terms of your manly care, your upkeep. You get a really good boar brush for $20, to be quite honest. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the mark to where to trim so my beard is not too short. Very common mistake. I've seen pretty much everybody who works in this space point this out, that many guys shave their beards entirely too far up. Do not just try to follow your jawline. That's a mistake. I go to the Adam's apple, keep one finger over it, and I measure where that finger is, and I just kind of go across it. You can either make a square line here, or you can make more of a U line here. I opted to do more of a U line. And then I just take my beard grooming, kit, the stuff I bought. I got it from like Walgreens, and I just I clean it up and basically take it down to basically close to the skin level there. So that way, if I want to shave it later, I can, but it's going to be at an appropriate height to where it won't even be necessary to shave it, to be honest. And I will admit that it is a little difficult to see, and it can be quite challenging to level both sides if you do the U-shaped, and it might be more advisable just to kind of make a box, more of a square than a U-shape on it, but you'll know your facial structure better than most people, and some of this really does need to be determined by the type of facial structure you have. This is just an adjustable thing that I bought from Walgreens. It comes with the clippers. Guys, this goes from a setting 3 to a setting 11. I'm going to use a setting 3 to get the top part of my beard, okay? Right where my last finger is, that's where I'm going to set the first fade. It's really fading in your beard, if you will. So I'm going to use a 3 on that initial part that's by the sideburn. It kind of goes down partially to the cheek. And then I'm going to use like a 5 on the area that kind of goes into the goatee area, the chin area, and then of course the the mustache area, because I want that area to feel a little bit fuller and it kind of fade into like a nice like kind of tapered in set to your beard, if you would, like where your sideburns are for your beard. So I mean that's kind of how I like to do it. It can be a little difficult if you don't keep in mind exactly where you had your finger. That's why I like to start at the finger area first and then work my way up, and then I kind of get a feel as I'm coming back down that I'm in the right area, because if you go too far down, then it will look a little weird. So you definitely want to keep it to the right area. So you got to determine that on your own face, guys, whether that's 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers for you. You kind of have to determine that on your own, exactly where you want to let that kind of fade, barrier end, if you will, where you want that puffiness from the beard to kind of come out, around the jawline area. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to adjust this bad boy up to a 5 on the setting. And then after I got it on a 5 on the setting, this is where I'm going to basically touch up, all the area for my goatee. I'm going to touch up the area for my, my mustache. I'm going to get that area kind of looking good and in line with how I want my face to kind of appear now, how I want that beard to look on me. And it gets kind of difficult here just because, like, the longer you make the blade setting, if you will, on the razor, the difficulty you will run into here is that it does cause issues to where it's really difficult at this point in time to get all the stragglers. It becomes, you got to kind of get a little fancy with it to get all the stragglers, and you got to really pay attention to your mirror, guys, and make sure you're getting all those strangly kind of hairs in your beard. And, the one positive to this setting is that it's shorter than the 3, so if you go over the line a little bit, it's not that huge a deal. You're not going to notice the difference there. But yeah, you definitely kind of had to play with it a little bit to get exactly where you want it, and that's a little complicated sometimes to get it perfect where you want it at. All right, when you get to the part of where you are going to trim up your mustache, okay, you want to get the hairs off of the top part of your lip, if you will. What you have to do here, guys, is just kind of go to the top area of where your lip is and make sure you're kind of, I hate to say this, guys, but kind of like puckering your lips so you can see it. You got to be able to see what you're doing here. But basically what you want to do is make that half crescent around your lip here. So you're going to kind of go in at a little bit of an angle and then basically take it down to the lowest setting you have on your razor. And then you're just going to kind of go around and make that half moon, if you will, that crescent around your lip area. So that way, when you're eating something, you're actually eating the food and, you're not eating your hair. Guys, I feel you. I know how it feels. I also like those later flavor savors. You know what I mean? I get you. All right, when you're trying to figure out exactly where to make your line cut down there, guys, just go from the kind of tip of your ear and trace down on almost like a 45 angle. And then you want to trim back all the hair that's up on your cheek there. And that'll give you that nice kind of line on both sides. If you just kind of go to the top and then you trim your way back down a little bit. Don't go too far down, guys. If you go down too far, it's going to look like you got a patchy beard, to be quite honest. It's not going to look right. All right, so that's one thing I've had to learn the hard way personally. All right, once you get to this point, guys, you're at the last final stages, man. This is where you're just going to basically lather up and put that nice lotion. Depending on what you want to use, a beard balm, if you want to use oil, if you want to use whatever it is that you personally use in your beard. You can use an oil, you use a balm, you could use a lotion. There's different ways of doing this, guys. I mean, there's several different products that are made for you to be able to kind of get your beard styled exactly the way you want it and moisturized once you're finished. And you just got to pick what feels right to you in that situation. There's no doubt that there's a lot of YouTubers who tend to have these executive style beards. I mean, you can even look at a guy like Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, fellow North Carolinian, who also kind of wears a set, like it's in that classification. He kind of has some patches, of course, right? Alpha M, who's kind of in the fashion and modeling side of things, to podcasters like Jeff Wittick, guys like that have, right? I mean, you could even go overseas and look at larger YouTubers from other countries. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Rata from a couple of years ago, but Rata or Rat Tech, also, he had a pretty iconic executive style beard. I mean, he had one of the better ones in the actual YouTube space, if I'm being honest about it. And then you just go to just general famous people, man. I mean, you go back in time and you look at guys like, like Marvin Gaye to Idris Elba today. Like, you look at guys like John Hamm he grew out one. You look at guys like Steve Carell. I mean, it's just so many of these dudes, actually, when you go look at them, that have grown this executive style beard, which is the first thing I kind of noticed about it. But then I realized why everybody was doing it, because, you know, you got John Krasinski, you got a lot of these guys doing this. The reason they're doing this is because it's freaking really easy to actually trim and groom this one and maintain it and keep it looking acceptable. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, listen up, guys. This is a new channel, and I'm doing the best I can to grow this community. If you are seeing this video basically in late 2023 or early 2024, you caught this channel in its infancy, and I would love to add you to the community. I just need you to hit that subscribe button to do that. Also, if you would like to see a funny story and a funny challenge in the fact that, you know, I went ahead and let my parents talk me into adopting this 100+ pound dog, watch this video down below, guys. It's pretty funny because, man, she's a monster. So much hair. So much hair.